Special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. To spoon. To spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. To spoon. If you eat Cape Town, Grangile, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. To spoon. You want to get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah. Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon.
Besetu.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Ba.
Spoon.
Skidibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Bese kuwa, kudileo. Kuwa, kudileo.
On the spoon to get
Yes,
your
what you
information.
Kuwa.
On the spoon to be
Yes, what you
part of our
Batileo.
Spoon television.
Yes, what you Batileo.
Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. smooth. If you eat keep on crunchy like my brother tout on smooth. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, tout on smooth.
Those on the speaker side that's in charge of some strategy work. We never counted 30, we always counted 29.
Why?
So,
you got the deputy speaker?
Because we knew he was on our side a long time ago. It was clear. We knew he was on our side. And he is my uncle, you know, my mom is from Oka. So I was always clear with him that he should come out and show his hands. He has come out to show his hands. And we know our number stays 29. So anytime they were reporting, you know, 30, I say, just stop the thing. We are 29. And guess what? Tomorrow and the next week, you're going to see us claiming from 30 to 31.
We are still confident.
Maybe you are sleeping somewhere. By the time you remember our rebel. You remember our rebel. But let me tell you this. It will not stop. Call me any name you want to call me. I'm sure you also find a name for. By the way, George, they're calling all three Hebrew brothers. What they didn't know is that the three Hebrew brothers went into the lion's den and God locked the jaw.
I said, what? Hebrew brother in the there. I thought I know in the three Hebrew brothers in the I thought the Hebrew brother they put in the fire. They in the I thought I know in the So they want to insult people that are confused. Ah, that means I'm the three Hebrew brother. I'm the lion there. Hebrew brother in lion there.
Maybe you are sleeping somewhere.
The legislature it is, and we have to do it. I know that no session out there, nobody going to hire any program here today. Nothing will happen here today.
Why are you insisting so?
Because this building is not a normal. We are abnormal. This building is in legislative wall.
We'll have your session today.
So those lawmakers from the end of the speaker block are now moving through the drum chambers, saying that those so keep following this. Keep following. The speaker block now moving in the drum chambers, saying that let go. So we are marching to the drum chambers.
So the pepper spray is suffocating the lawmakers. Pepper spray was used here. So the pepper spray is suffocating the
Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks to everyone for coming on. This is the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. We appreciate all of you for um, joining us tonight. This is where we bring you the updates and we get to provide you some analysis around those issues of national concerns, those trending national issues every single day. So, welcome to the show tonight. I'm Nelson Colette. We're live across the Spoon Network, Spoon FM 107.5. We're live on Firebreak Radio 101.1 and a host of other radio stations across the country. Thanks to our affiliate radio stations that are relaying the program, and thanks to them for always doing so. As we talk Liberia, as we keep having the conversation around the interest of our country, the fourth march, how the country Liberia can do better. And so I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. Thanks for joining the show. I'm going to move to the comment section quickly to recognize a few of you. But while I'm doing that, I'm also going to get the updates coming for you, after which we will go into the rest of the show tonight. So, yes, welcome to the program. This is the late night show. Thanks to all of you for joining us here tonight on this edition of the program. So thanks to everyone for joining us. Sorry, I have to make a very quick adjustment here. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, so I think it's done. So it's good to have all of you on tonight. Let me say welcome, Eric McGill. Thanks for joining us tonight. Philip Bala, we appreciate you. Listening, Terewali, thanks for joining us tonight. I see Noosh is here. He says we are back. Yes, indeed, we are back. Noosh, thanks for joining us. Please share the program as you come on tonight. Benendi McCarthy is here tonight as well, joining us from Bonjar, resident. Thanks for joining us. Ruben Venya has joined us as well, from Master Plumber, Port Row, Duport Row. I see Moses Momolu is here tonight. Medela Jabo, that's Jabo, have joined us. T. Emmanuel Topa is here. Esther Akwe, Lucini Red, the Susanna Red. I see all of you joining us tonight. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining the show. Let's hope we can have a great interaction tonight as we bring you the updates regarding the many issues here, the many issues across the country tonight. So it's always a pleasure. It's always a beautiful thing when you can come on, when you can join the national discourse, when you can share your thoughts on the happenings across the country. We appreciate all of you for that. Yes, so we appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. So let's quickly move into the updates. What are the happenings? What are the issues across the country tonight? So let's start with the Liberian Senate. Now, most of you are aware that the legislature operate with two houses: a bicameral legislature, the House of Representatives, and that of the Liberian Senate. And of recent, there has been this issue at the House of Representatives, which we've talked about for a very long time. Long conversation around those happenings at the level of the legislature. And today, information is that following a very important meeting at the legislature, at the level of the leadership, the legislature, given the situation at hand at the House of Representatives, has vowed to withhold the submission of legislative instruments to the House of Representatives until everything that's happening, the legal battle, the fight, who's the speaker, who's not the speaker, Speaker Kofa is out, Speaker Kofa isn't, he's still the speaker, and all of those different issues can be resolved until those issues can be addressed. The information is that the Senate has decided to withhold the submission of legislative instruments. So what are those legislative instruments? What are those different instruments or things that the Senate will be holding back from the House of Representatives? Bills. Now, quite recently, there were a couple of bills, instruments coming from the Senate to the House of Representatives, but it always landed at the level of the majority block. That's where those instruments have always landed, at the level of the majority block. You talk about the bill for the decentralization of the free of the ports of the country. It landed at the level of the majority block, and a couple of legislative instruments have been going there as well. And so, but what triggered the decision at this time? Why is the legislature at this the Senate, sorry, at this particular time coming up with this decision? Why is the Senate deciding to withhold all legislative instruments until the impasse at the House of Representatives can be addressed? Why is this happening? What is it that is triggering this particular decision from the upper house? Of course, these are very, very important issues to talk about tonight. And we're going to have more details coming up and making some analysis around that particular situation. But the disclosure was actually made by the Montserrat County Senator Abraham Darius DeLong, and that was following a leadership meeting that was reportedly held at the level of the House, the Liberian Senate, and that's something very important to talk about. And yesterday we brought you an update. President George Weah is in the country, and he preached, at his Focaclone Jale Family Church over the weekend, where he accused the Unity Party administration of being involved with the ongoing fight at the House of Representatives. He pointed accusing fingers at the president of the Republic of Liberia, President Joseph Yuma Boakai, and accused him of trying to tamper with the peace, the democracy of the country, that he should remember April 12th and all those things that happened, the dark days of the country, and how the peace of the country is very important, and that democracy, the rule of law, should be respected. And following his engagement, those comments he made at his church on Sunday, the government of Liberia has responded through the Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs. Well, the government is warning former President George Weah to desist from spewing lies, according to the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs. He says the former president is spewing lies against the UP regime. He should resist from that. The assertion that the Boakai's administration is hijacking Liberia's democracy is untrue. So the government's response came as a result of the previous comment made by the president, or the former president, where he says the administration is hijacking the country's democracy, and that the executive is behind the removal of the speaker, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa. So Daniel Sando, who happens to be the Deputy Information Minister for Press and Public Affairs, was responding. He said it's unfortunate, and that the former president will lie against the government, and that the allegations are meant to ridicule the government negatively. Those were his words, his response on behalf of the government of Liberia. And, you know, we're going to make some analysis around these issues tonight, just like we did with the previous, engagement that triggered this particular one, talking about where we are. Now, on the flip side, a court document surfaced today. And I don't know how many of you got hold of that, but the Monrovia City Court issued a writ of arrest for the Bone County District 3 lawmaker representing Josiah Marvin Cole for allegedly refusing to support his daughter. And that's something that's also in the news. The court judge, Ben Bako, has instructed that the living body of the lawmaker be arrested and brought before him to respond to his the complaint in court currently against him. And so the mother of the child, who goes by the name Clara Asibu, said they have an 11-year-old child, and that the lawmaker has reportedly refused to take on his responsibility since the inception of the pregnancy to provide support for the child. And so the writ was issued today to get the living body of the lawmaker. As to whether this, because these are issues that will always come out, and that's why due process is very important. The lawmaker is going to have his time in court to say as to whether this is true or not, and all of the issues surrounding that. He will have his time to respond to it. But these are issues that are in the news, and especially with the lawmaker right there. And then coming quickly to the legislative issues now. Most of you are aware that the senators, the lawmakers, House of Representatives had the regular back and forth today for the 5 members in session at the majority black session they had today. The minority black again could not get a quorum. The speaker, Councilor Kofa, could not get a quorum, so there was no session for him and his folks today. And one of the lawmakers, Zina Norman, who from Bapolo County, went on to say that yes, he affixed his signature. He joined the majority black, but the reason behind his decision was to get his colleagues to go under the gavel of the speaker. And because it's not happening, they're not willing to give the speaker due process. He was going back to where he came from. Someone says, back from my roots, So, and then on the flip side, Senator Saad Joseph has been calling on his colleagues. He's pushing now for additional funding to be given to the health sector. And he's alarming over the lack of specialized doctors in the country as well to respond to emergency health cases across the country. He wants the Liberian Senate to use their legislative power to allot extra 10 million to the health sector. 5 million should be used towards addressing emergency situations in the country, like that he spoke of the increasing wave of cancer cases across the country, and how a lot of people watch their relatives and friends died as a result of these emergency health situations. So he wants the legislature to allot. Let me bring Josh on. Josh, welcome to the show. It's good to have you on.
Oh,
so he
thanks, Nelson,
yeah,
for having me.
Yeah. So the Montserrat County Senator wants the government of Liberia to allot 10 million USD to the health sector, additional 10 million, 5 million to go towards emergency health situation. Like there's an SOS call for someone who's about to, who is in a critical condition. And most times the doctors will say that they need to take them out of the country to India and other countries. So that emergency fund should be used to address those issues that the citizens are faced with, so that in the case where someone is critically ill and that person needs to be rushed out of the country. Once the government can establish that through an accredited health facility, they can take that person out of the country and be able to give them the necessary treatment. 5 million to go towards that in the 2025 budget. Is also calling for the additional 5 million to go towards equipping, identifying a specific hospital and equipping that particular health facility, necessary equipment, trained doctors, specialized doctors who will also be able to, in the period of 3-4 months, be able to address some of those critical health cases that will most times be referred out of to other advanced health facilities out of the country. So this is what he's calling for, and he says he's going to be pushing with his colleagues for this. Yes, plus a lot more happening across the country. Just start to push in a few of those happenings. But Josh, it's good to have you on tonight. President Josh Weah has been meeting with the lawmakers. He's back in the country. Since he got back, he got in with the rear fire, from the church. He fired at the government of Liberia, the Barker administration, and the administration fired back today. So it appears that we're going to be seeing some political punches going in different directions these few days. But he met with some lawmakers today, and information is that the meeting was held at his rehab, place. And one of those lawmakers who have been spotted in the photo is Representative Yeke Koluba. No one ever thought, and maybe I need to get that photo to put it up. No one ever thought that Representative Yeke Yakpawolo Koluba, Representative Yeke Yakpawolo Koluba, and former President George Mane Segozi Gbagogbe Weah will be standing in a photo, shaking hands, and in the interest of Liberia or whatever you call it. No one ever thought that would have happened, but it happened today. It was the case today, and that's one of the photos that has gone wide across the internet with Representative Yeke Koluba and the former president shaking hands. But it's geared towards getting Speaker Kofa the speakership back, or getting him to retain the speakership. He's trying to touch bases with those people. He's trying to touch bases with those people. Deputy Speaker Thomas Farah wasn't in session today, and there were speculations that, it was due to the meeting, President Joshua, but information had it that he stayed away due to some security reasons. That's another information that surfaced. Yeah, but this is where we are, and I want to put this up. Okay, so this is it. Just before you come in and do your opening, Josh, and I see someone says this is not the first time for the former president and Representative Yeke Koluba to stand up and do photo and all of that, but this is interesting. The two people were standing today in a very good shot. They took a very interesting photo today, and there you have it. So the speaker on one end, in whose interest most of these engagements are going on. You see the former president and Representative Yeke Koluba standing there on the other end, shaking hands after their engagement today. Yes, but I want us to move into the show now, Josh. Just do your opening, 1 minute, and then we can move into the rest of the conversation tonight.
Oh, look, Nelson, thank you very much. I really appreciate, having me on the show. Nelson, the truth that is buried never stays down. It will always surface, right? President Weah was away, or the former President Weah was away, and people said he was the one who was orchestrating this whole thing to get the speaker out because the speaker was a threat to him. You know, the lies that people tell with, you know, straight faces is ridiculous, you know, Nelson. And these are the same lies they use to destroy the good government that George Weah was leading, lying about everything just to gain some sort of interest or some sort of dividend, political dividend or whatsoever. These people are lying all around here, Nelson. Now the president has come, or the former president has come. He's trying to put things together. The one that President Bwaka cannot do, to call his lawmakers to order. He cannot do it. President Weah is doing it, showing leadership, and people are here talking all sort of things. Nelson, I think all those who are input a democracy in Liberia should run with the hashtag, don't force him out, vote him out. Because this amounts to coup d'etat.
Don't force who out, vote who out.
Don't force the speaker out, but vote him out. Nelson, our constitution calls for two-thirds, right, to vote him out. Not having the two-thirds and trying to put him out of power is forcing him out. That is not the way democracy should run. It's the same as coup d'etat, because you cannot go to the ballot box and win President Bwaka. You forcing out through a coup d'etat. That's the same thing that's happening, because our democracy calls for people going to the polls to vote to change government. They are not telling you to jump in the street and destroy things and then this and that. That's forcing the leader out. So I think people should run with the hashtag, vote him out, don't force him out. I think that's what we need to go with, because we need to support democracy. And I think that's what it is. And the second thing,
Josh, go ahead. Or just before going to the second thing, did you just say, and someone was just asking in the comment section as well, did you just say, you know, the good government that President George Weah was running? The folks lied, and they defeated the government with lies. Are we going back to the election era now, Josh? Is this a situation where even after a year or pretty close to a year, we'll still be going back to the election era when election is far gone, and we've gone over a year now after the president was elected and all of that? If the government was that good, then how did the lie overshadow the many good works of the administration? If the government was that good, that successful, and the Liberian people were enjoying and everything was just okay, how did it happen that all of the works of the government were buried under the lies?
Nelson, Jesus was killed because of lying. People lied on him. They said he was blaspheming. If you can say Jesus' death, Jesus was not good, so that's why he got killed, then of course you win the case. You know, I have nothing to argue about, because people said Jesus was adding that he God. That's why they killed him. The same lie that's happened, that's what killed Jesus. The people say he was adding a God and he's not God. And the Jewish people say anybody who adding a God, they blaspheme, they have to kill them. That's why Jesus was killed. So the thing, we're not yet a debate which government was good. I know it has been 9 months, right, in this government, and there's no tangible to see. Nelson, people are trooping to the Invisible Park every weekend. It's jam-packed with people. They are celebrating that place. Before, it was a disgrace. Now people were going to eat, but now people are trooping there. Go to PHP, Nelson. These are the things that President Weah envisioned. That's what they call a visionary leader, right? Waka is sitting down, sleeping, doing nothing. The country is going backward every day. It's a fight and legislature. And I'm sure, Nelson, just by looking at what President Weah is doing now, former President Weah is doing now, if he was in power, this wouldn't have reached this area or this particular climax. Okay. Is doing nothing about it because it's all in his interest. Because when people are causing noise, you can see what nobody going to look for what he's done. Because everybody will be focusing on the legislature, and he will just sit there doing nothing because he's always done nothing. That's it, Nelson.
Josh, a meeting today, is the president really into this? Is former President George Weah really into this? Or is this just for, you know, the camera? Is it just, you know, to clear his name? Since, in fact, he's one person who was accused. So many people pointed accusing fingers at as being the one who was masterminding this entire thing. Since, in fact, Councillor Kofa was becoming more powerful more influential, very influential. This fight for 2029 was starting far ahead. There were information in the corridors that Councillor Kofa wanted to contest, wanted to, attempt the presidency come 2029. Since, in fact, former President George Weah had that interest, for 2029, he started to fight his fight far ahead and then try to cut him down.
Those are just lies. Nelson, that's the same thing. Nelson, when Jesus was born, I will always make analogy to Jesus because we are all.
I don't know where you came from tonight with all those analogies you come in with.
I started going back to church now, so I'll be using Jesus stories. When Jesus was born, the first thing Pharaoh wanted to kill him. Because Pharaoh thought that Jesus was going to be a king, like an earthly king like him. So he said, no, nobody come to overthrow me, so I will kill him. So Nelson, people are lying their gods out because of their fear. That fear can make people get, Nelson, even your friend. The reason why your friend will be jealous of you is fear that you will take all the glory. You will take all the girls. You will take all the attention from him. That's why people do these things. But Nelson, let me just go straight to Yaga Koloba and former President Weah's handshake. That shows the character of President Weah. That's why some of us will follow him. Because he's a guy, he's a man who can forgive. He's a man who can say bygone, be bygone, especially for Liberia. President Weah can let go anything for Liberia. He can get angry, he will say things, but suddenly he will come back to Liberia. The same thing that happened when the people started cursing a man because we lost a game in Monrovia. People started cursing a man, doing all sort of things. He said, "You're not going to play for Liberia again." Guess what? But when people call him back, said, "Look, you are the only person, you are the greatest Liberian who ever lived. Please come and help us." He came back to the table. So President Weah will always come back to the table to help Liberia. And that's what you get. Because guess what, Nelson? What is happening is a disgrace in our country. To see such a fight going on, and the president is going to Sierra Leone to take photo with former classmates, wearing jacket to take photo with former classmates, in Sierra Leone where he went to school. Nelson, he leaving all the trouble back. Nelson, people almost going to face fight, and this man went to Sierra Leone to go take picture with former classmates. For the past so many years, that man have been in the country. You're not going to Sierra Leone to take pictures.
Someone listening now, they just be asking the question: if you are condemning the president going to Sierra Leone on an official, on a working visit to Sierra Leone, where he's been engaging with the president, President Bill, and engaging on some regional security matters. If you will condemn that, someone may be asking, what then did you say when former President George Weah went to watch, the football games for, a couple of weeks, when the country has so many challenges? Josh, are we cherry picking? Are we being selective of what to condemn at a time and what to commend at another time?
Nelson, let me just say something quickly. Nelson, I will tell you this for free, right? If the legislative hula battle that is happening in Monrovia was during the time President Weah was in Qatar watching football game, I would have been against it, and I'm sure he wouldn't have stayed. If that was the case, he was not going to stay. He was going to go back. Nelson, and if President Bouaka were going to Guinea, where many people are coming and landing in Monrovia with guns in their hands without us knowing. If he are going to Guinea, down and say, yeah, he's going there for peace, something, you know what I mean, to talk about. But he's going to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, what do we have to do with Sierra Leone, Nelson? What about security situation? What about threat that is coming from Sierra Leone? Nothing. Go to Guinea, they know you're talking about peace or some stability in the region. But if you go to Sierra Leone is our sister nation. We are in peace with them. The people that we have problem with, and President Bouaka chicken out to give somebody living body to rebel leader is the one that we should be talking about. He should have gone there. The president is ready for business. Well, you went to his former classmates, Nelson. What engagement? What has it brought to Liberia? Nothing. You want to see his classmates? You have to say, guys, I made it in Liberia. I went there, I hustle, I made it a president there to take picture with them. That's what he did. And that's it's a shame for us. It's a shame for us as a nation to sit here and continue to talk about or the hope for some miracle to happen. President Bouaka is going to do nothing, Nelson. This is a complete rubbish government will have in Monrovia, Nelson. If
Thanks a
sad.
lot.
It's
Thanks a
sad.
lot, Josh. That was just for the opening. The
Thank
rest
you.
of the guys will be joining in shortly, but it's a great way to start the show, and I want to welcome all of our folks tonight. Thanks for joining us. Kindly share the show as you come on tonight. Now, I want us to go into the engagements, those different engagements that former President George Weah is having now. I want us to start the conversation from there. I want us to take a look at former President George Weah at the moment in a handshake with Representative Yeke Kolva. Now, this man is one person who complained about being marginalized under the presidency of President George Weah. And if he ever insulted, if he ever reinvented our Speaker Buffer Chambers, it was because, according to him, Speaker Buffer Chambers at the time was taking direct instruction from former President George Weah, and based on the instructions, he was acting upon it. He, Representative Yeke Kolova, was being marginalized because that's what President George Weah wanted from him at the time. All right? He said all the words about former President George Weah. But here we are today. This man complained about the CDC wanting to assassinate him. He said that. All right? He complained about his children's party being disrupted when Eddie Terwale and the rest of the folks were recording videos in the 540 area. He spoke about those issues. Several attempts, according to him, were made on his resident to get hold of him. Have all these things just been the politics? Have we heard the district 10 lawmaker making all of those claims only because he wanted to get the attention and the politics of the day? Has it now changed? In fact, at what point did the former district, let's say the district 10 lawmaker, get to see the positive side of the CDC? Have the Liberian people been a victim of the regular political maneuvering and how politicians will use the Liberian people in the name of one party being against it, they're being marginalized, and the Liberian people are willing to give their chest to whatever, just in the name of being in solidarity with those people. The handshake, the engagement today. On the other side, can President George Weah really succeed, given how far this entire issue has come? The majority bloc has gone as far as electing their own speaker. They now have a speaker. Speaker Reggie Kuhn is on the other end. Speaker Kofa is on the other end. It started far back, over a month ago, when there wasn't anything such as election and all of that. Was it well calculated? Was it deliberate that President George Weah is coming in at the time when significant progress have been made with respect to getting another speaker? Speaker Kofa is hanging on the only safety belt now, which has to do with the Supreme Court.
So look, Nelson, I think you're wrong. I think your analogy is a little flawed, but I will sit here why it is. I think the crisis has gotten worse. The conglomerate worse. It has become worse because it has gone further that even a new speaker, they got one DJ now with two speakers. You must know the party is about to start. Once you see that, and I think if at all there was intervention, it wouldn't have reached this spot. So you can say that significant effort has been made in a positive light. I think it's negative because because now to dissuade Kun to say to put your right hand on the Bible now your left hand, and do it will be a difficult thing. So I think the problem has gotten worse.
And when we talk about progress,
because President Baka is incapable of making any decision, Nelson. Why can't we just
let me come here a bit, Josh. Let me come here a bit. Progress in a sense that this thing started with people standing outside under the flagpole reading resolution with an intent of wanting to get the speaker removed. Progress has been made in a sense that those people have had sittings, they've had sessions, they succeeded in hijacking whatever the deputy speaker, whatever the speaker, have been doing. They succeeded in hijacking everything. They've succeeded in making sure that the speaker doesn't get a quorum for over 1 month, nothing going at the level of the speaker. They've succeeded in doing that to a point where they now set up a committee. They said they gave the speaker a due process. They've removed him. They've elected a new speaker. Even the deputy speaker is now on their side. That's progress being made from the angle of the majority black. And that's where I came from when I asked the question.
Okay,
but
no, I got you. Yeah, I understand. I understand your point. But Nelson, I think the majority black is going completely wrong. And you know, Nelson, we need to say these things so that these records will stay even when we are long gone. Our children will listen to these things and they'll say, my dad or my uncle or my granddad said these things long time ago. And Nelson will continue to say them. I don't care what anybody thinks of me, Nelson. No, I don't need to go to Liberia to live a better life. When I'm in Liberia, I will pull. I oversee. Okay, I will not say anything, but I'm better off, right?
So you oversee now you get money. In Australia now you get money. So the Liberian people listening to you.
I would have never dreamed of this life I'm living if I was going to be living in Liberia. And guess what? No relative brought me overseas. No family member brought me overseas. I took myself. But here's the thing, Nelson. The problem is that the Constitution says that every 6 years a speaker must be elected, right?
Yeah.
And that speaker becomes the presiding, right? Is he here? And they said the only way to remove him is because of a cost, right? And that cost followed by 2/3 majority of the House, right? So Nelson, that's why I said it's equivalent to coup d'etat because you won't get it for the 9 people, right? But then you go have meeting and say,
but the people have 50 signatures.
But Nelson, then let them go out and vote. They should not just follow resolution because somebody put a new paper. So the person said they want due process because that's what they call for. Their system call for due process. Let them go to due process and make sure that this man is convicted and taken out. Then for us, we agree. For me, I don't care. I don't even know Funati Kofa.
But why do you think former President we are had to allow this thing go this far before making the interventions he's making now?
Nelson, you should be asking President Bwakai. President Bwakai is the one that took the.
No, we're going to go to President Bwakai's side. No, I want us to take it step by step. We'll go to President Bwakai's side, but let's start with President George. They say you can sit down the old man to plot the new one, right? The old man.
Yeah.
Why did former President George Weah, being as influential as he is, had to wait to allow this thing to get to this point before making the interventions he's making now?
Nelson,
was it calculated? Was it deliberate?
Nelson, one of the things that you need to know is that Liberia is a poor country. $15,000 is a lot of money to people.
Judge, for some reason, the feedback, the breeze or whatever from your end, apparently where you sit there is windy. So, yeah, you can change your position and then just
the breeze myself.
But Moba, it's good to have you on, man. A lot happening across the country. You must have followed the updates, the different issues across the country.
Yeah.
Former President George Weah is engaging now. He's in a photo with Yeke Koluba. There's Yeke Koluba who said the CDC wanted to do X, Y, and Z to him, complained about his children party being disrupted. They're shaking hands. What do you think is happening here? Even the engagement President George Weah is carrying on. I mean, why do you think he's coming in at this point? Is there any future for this engagement? Is there any hope that this engagement is going to bring about a change? That in the next maybe couple of days, Liberians will start to see a whole new wave of change at the level of the House of Representatives.
Look. Nelson, for Yeke Koluba is a little bit, what I would say. I think he's not setting like he just do his thing like blah blah like go so cancel, wherever like he want to do, he do it. But I think
when you say he's not setting, what do you
he's not setting. Yeke is not somebody to rely on. Yeke is not stable. Right? He can say this today, he say this tomorrow. I love Yeke. Yeke been, a hard-working lawmaker, talking and stuff. But Yeke, as a lawmaker, I don't want to go deep in his family, but I'm just trying to make out something. Why will you be a lawmaker in a country that nobody running behind you, nobody against you, nobody get time for you, but your family are living in that identical district, they living in different country? and every day you're talking for the people. So I think before we start hearing Yagana talking, they gotta bring up people, you know, that from because before, according to him, I come in on this thing.
Yeah,
before,
and that's where he's
Yagana,
going. He said that the previous administration was after his family. After his
listen, now that's what I'm saying.
His family away.
Yeah, he said now where I'm coming to. He said before George Weah region was behind his family, so he took a family away. Now Joseph Boga government are behind his family. Why his family still doing in Ezra? Why they can come for him to muster the courage and talk about the Liberian people about everything you can, so like it's advocate. It's not that strong for me to backing linking with George Weah. First of all, Yake is already with a minority. So what George Weah going to Yake, they talking, there's nothing big in that. There's nothing big in that nursing. Honestly, nothing big in that.
Nelson, I was going to let me just finish because
my man, you can't call me all that. Don't do that.
We'll come back to you.
You will see.
Yeah.
You've been on the show all day today. You are talking here, Nelson. Let me talk about yeah, but Nelson, right? Let's go back to the topic, right? Let's be real. Yeke Kolba, for me, I have no problem with Yeke Kolba going to George Weah. That's how Yeke Kolba is. He always go to the opposition when he know that that opposition strong, maybe coming and then he made his way through every time. But for him to say he's going to the minority to push for Fonati Kofa, honestly, nothing in it. George Weah now sort of go to Hijacking, but George Weah himself going to Hijacking, he can't survive. Then why didn't Yeke Kolba go do that? George Weah, he the center barrel of the CDC, right? He going to Hijacking, he can't survive.
But most of those things happen when former President George Weah was away. Do you think with his presence in the country now is going to make any difference? He's in the country for the first time, and a lot of people were concerned today, especially when the Deputy Speaker Thomas Farah did not show up in the majority black session. What do you think is happening here?
Listen, I think first of all, no one know why. For me, I don't know why Thomas Farah never attend the session today. And secondly, people were going to court, but we saw nothing. When Cabinet General was asked some question, he declined to answer. He just said, "When I get on screen, I will explain myself." So I think the whole legislature saga are going on there, thing it's just confusing us, and even down to the citizens. We don't know what is going on. But the good news is the Senate House saying that they will not do no business with the House of with the House of Representatives until they can settle that disputes. So I think
we're going to come to that aspect.
Let me conclude by saying this. I think that's why. I mean, that's you can remember the last time when I came on here, I said the president was in error, the executive was in error by saying the budget to the majority, and people are here blasting at me doing that. The people in dispute. Let me face that dispute. They send the budget there. Then when we talk here, they say, the Constitution. Y'all know the Constitution more than us. But guess what? The Constitution, Article 38, verify what the people are supposed to do, and they're not doing it. So we'll come here and say it. Then people want to say what they want to say. But that's the fact.
Thank you. I want to hold you there, Moba, and let me welcome Chris to the show. It's good to have you on. I want to go back to Josh. Let's have him to conclude in 1 minute 30 seconds, and then we get to Chris, and then we transition.
Nelson, we came on here, few months ago, 10 months ago. We used to tell people, we say, look, everything you see that is happening now is a political play. All these guys who are fighting the CDC, they want jobs, they want money. That's all they are doing this for. It's not for Liberia, Nelson. These people want influence. Let the other guy there. The Minister of not Public Works, but Minister of I don't know how to call it, Liberia terms. The guy is there telling President Weah is lying on the government, this and that, because he finished sharing Liberian money among themselves, according to the former minister who they fired. These people just wanted money, they wanted position, they wanted jobs, they don't do anything. The Liberian people were fooled. Just like what my brother Zokia is saying, that Yeke Kolba wanted to get re-elected. at all costs, he had to play the political high grounds, and that's what he did. And people were amused by it. People were they were carried away by it, and that's why people would do that. Because guess what, Nelson? Some of us or some people who knowledge is water, the other people, we are not equal. Everyone is not equal, Nelson. So when somebody's standing and saying, "My man, war coming," you are sitting down, try to listen to the person. But you are sitting down, you're not seeing what the person seeing, but you ready to see you lying. Then when the war kind when something happened to you, then you say, "Oh, the people bad." No, Nelson, people did not listen. We need a Yaga Kolba. They were playing politics. Nobody was against Yaga Kolba. Nobody was hunting a family. So at this time, somebody still hunting them, and they in Accra or in the UAE. No, Nelson, this is all political play. But these people, they were fooled because they lack knowledge, Nelson. And that's why Liberian people will continue to suffer, because they will always be played, just like Yaga Kolba is playing there. President Weah is just a guy who can reconcile with people. He doesn't care what you do to him. He wants a better Liberia. And President Weah will be re-elected again come 2029. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Josh. I want to hold you there, but just before moving to Chris, I want to highlight a comment here made by one of our followers, one of those following the show tonight, evangelist Morris. That's Moba Morris. He said, "To be honest, it is a shame that Liberians voted lawmakers that need George Weah to make decisions for them before they can make decisions for themselves." Now, what do you think? If President George Weah, if former President George Weah succeeds in convincing those lawmakers to go back under the gabble of Councillor Fonati, would that mean that former President George Weah will be making decisions for those lawmakers? You think so?
Yes, Nelson. Inadvertently, yes, exactly. Because Nelson, President Bouaka cannot lead. Nelson, it's simple. You take all the people that all the people, right? That having a renegade brigade, because that's what we call them. The one they used to have with Baron. The renegade brigade, right? These guys, they in a place that Bouaka could call and say, "Look, man, you guys are tarnishing the reputation of my regime. This 6 years is for me to progress this country. You guys need to put your ass together and make sure that."
No, no interruption. We'll give you 1 minute.
Know, brother.
Yeah. Conclude quickly, George. 30 seconds.
Yeah, but President Bouaka cannot do that. The next thing he did was he got on a plane and went to Sierra Leone to his country to go and celebrate with classmates. He cannot leave.
What's your take on this? If President George Weah succeeds, you think it's going to indicate that he's making decisions for those lawmakers?
Now, first of all, let me say this, right? George Weah and the CDC lawmaker, George Weah got the right to convince the sedition lawmakers. Let me just say the sedition lawmakers, because George now referring to them like that. So let me just say it like that, right? But my question to Josh, Joseph Yima Bouaka can convince CDC. First of all, CDC is an opposition political party against the United Party. 1. 2, they are majority in the House of Representatives. So they get all the power to do what they can do in the best interest of the Liberian people, going opposite to the president's view. Well, I mean, if against the Liberian people. Now, if they go, right, if the CDC lawmaker go now and trying to impeach or remove their own lawmaker, and then you say Joseph Yima Bouaka him or Joseph Yima Bouaka will go there to go talk what? The person that's going to talk that George Weah. George is going to talk to his people. We don't know. We don't know.
I want to hold you there. I want to hold you there. Mama thinks a lot.
Let me conclude. We don't know that if Joseph Yima Bouaka talk to them, they agree or not. We don't know. You got to come on air and say, "I talk to the people." The people say, "No, we don't know." We got to make that type of prediction.
Thank you, Mama. Let me hold you there and go to Chris. Chris, let's have your thoughts on this particular issue.
Thank you, Nelson. Let me say good evening to Muba and good evening to George.
Your gadget, how are you holding it?
I'm clear.
Okay, I think it's somehow clear. Go ahead. Let's hope we can manage.
Okay. Let me say good evening to our viewers and followers who are joining us at this time. I will look at it from different perspectives. I will start from the list that go up to yes. First, those lawmakers that President Weir have engaged in, not just CDC lawmakers, those who believe in him as their mentor, who believe in him as their political leader. He's the leader of the political party. So there are people who believe in President Weir, a former president, who believe in him. So another CDC lawmaker who engaged. And besides that, I don't think it's a wrong thing that when you listen to President Weir, former president, everybody on earth have their mentor. They have their godfather. They look up to for direction. So if former President Weir engage those lawmakers and they listen to him, I don't think he's making decisions for them. And then the next thing to do with the action of the third speaker for today's session. Let's say a race alarm. A race alarm. It could be, even he said, as long as no excuse. In the crucial station right now, a race alarm. Because people interpret different other, even if he still remains with a majority black, there'll be different interpretation on the political scene. Yeah, and the next thing is the Yeke issue, right? For me, I would say this. The way Yeke is critical of both governments, not just the party alone, the city government in this regime, I think it's better that his family should be out of that district. Anything can happen at any time. For security reasons. It's a critical vote. You can't dispute it. It's a critical vote. They can get on him, they don't know him to go for the family. That's obstacle.
But Grace, in
Yeah.
all fairness, politics aside, do you really believe that people were after Representative Yeke Koluba or his family, whether under the CDC administration or even if he decided to bring his family, that people will be after his family under this administration? Do you really think so? Are there reasons why we should believe so?
In the first place, let's look at CDC government. Let's take an example. Just menstrual passport seat at the airport. Let's look at it. The city government went many times to their house and they exactly doing it to a trade party president. Yet the former security personnel, the chief security personnel, he gets information for all sources that you and I we don't get information from.
Okay. Just conclude in few seconds so we transition. We fastly running out.
The next thing is recently they also attacked a bid on that regime. He even had press conference to inform the Liberian people on the threat to their speaking. So next thing, our people have seen that US still is the best battle, no other country.
Thank you.
So for that reason, it's going to be out for now. And so everything's okay. For me.
I want to hold you there a bit. I want us to go to the response from the government of Liberia to the former president. Yesterday, he let's say on Sunday, he accused the government of trying to hijack the democracy. President Boakai and the Unity Party administration is orchestrating the removal of the speaker. And he went on to talk about the democracy of the country, that before this administration can even think about removing speaker or whatever, they should retrospect on April 12th. Some of the terrible things that happened in the country, and that is enough to serve as a caveat for them to avoid anything that will undermine the democracy of the country. But on the flip side, the government, through Daniel Sandel, the Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, went on to warn the former president to desist from spewing lies against the UP administration. And he's saying that the assertion that the administration wants to hijack the country's democracy is far from the reality. That the government is committed to maintain the peace, and that what is happening now is not the workings of the government. I mean, what do you make of this response? Let's take 1 minute each across the table on this one as we transition to the Senate issue. Let's start with you, Morba.
Yeah. Look, I think the response from I think assistant, right? Assistant
Deputy Minister for
Deputy
Press and
Minister. I mean, Deputy Minister. Okay. Look, some of these probably some of these talk nothing it need to be, people need to respond to them, because the former president talking about the same thing that happened April 6, 1989, all the stuff he called in all the years, right? But he forgetting to know the honor his regime, the similar thing like this happened. It was only because of God, and nobody get on the street to do anything, because a lot of things happen. And honestly, nothing in days where it comes to impeachment of taking the speaker out, it get anything to do with the president, or it get anything to do with the government, right? With the entire cabinet and the government. It get to do.
George, we have missed the mark on that. You think he
yes,
was,
of course. Joseph Imabaka have nothing. Joseph Imabaka have nothing to do with that. Well, the people agree or the people not agree, I don't think he get any influence or any power to stop them of what they're doing or not. We don't know. So he will not come and say because of the president not take time, let him but not 19. All the people that are grown people nursing, and he's saying talking to them, they're listening to him. So what the president got to do about it? It's just shocking for him to make that type of statement. But it was right for the deputy speaker. I mean, for the deputy to come out and debunk that whole statement from him. I think it was right, but I think it was wrong on the former president's side to even make that statement or make that comparison.
Okay, let's hear from you on this, Josh. Your take on the response from Daniel Sandel.
Now, saying before I go to Daniel Sandel, I just want to say how pathetic my brother Zokia sounds today when he said even the Senate are not going to do business with the legislature because they are in disarray. Our President Bwakai, did not see that as those people being disarrayed. He sent his budget there to be, to be legislated. Now saying, look, when we talk sense, people can start causing you, because I see on here, there's a guy called, I don't know, Daniel Kekula Giddings.
Come on, man. Come on,
this
Josh.
This guy.
These are followers in the comment section. That's a whole community there by himself.
Let me just say something quickly. I think he's looking for the spotlight. Let me give it to him. Now saying some people need that 2 minutes of fame. Calling his name is is something great for him. So I think I gotta call him out. This guy is on here insulting me as chicken brain. I get brain, get a job where I get this and that. I don't know who the guy is. He doesn't even know me. Just because of my position on this issue, this guy is calling me chicken brains. And these are the people who are keeping Liberians backward because they don't think for themselves. When people say something, they follow them. That's why I was challenging the other guy. Why make the legislator be the first branch? Who told you what legally? What kind of thing in our constitution until you say people are the first branch? Nothing like that. But people say things because other people say them, so they join them. But let me go to this matter, Nelson. I think the president or the former president did the right thing. What he stated in his church is exactly a good warning for a better Liberia. Because Nelson, if we don't know history, we'll always repeat history. But when we study history, we know exactly what happened that time and how we can prevent it in our present, so that we can move forward, in a good way. Because President, we are only reminding the Liberian people and reminding President Bwakai that look, what you are doing led to this in the past. And please take note, because this might come back to bite you. Nelson, this man said his budget will be legislated. If you are not part of the conflict, he will hold back. If you are not part of the conflict, you are going to hold back, Nelson. But this man is sponsoring everything. That 15,000 that they gave these lawmakers, I'm definitely sure just the same way the former assistant minister of information said that Baka sent 100,000 to them to distribute. This is the same way he sent money to the legislature so that they can distribute it to put Kun in power, because Kun have been fighting for the position and he cannot get it, Nelson. So Nelson, it's ridiculous why we will have to sit here and want to ridicule President Weah for making a statement he made. I think Donald Santos should be ashamed of himself. He's not even a level on with me. He's not on the same level as me before you go talk to George Weah like that. It's ridiculous for people not to respect our public official, especially someone who is trying to
I want us to go into the actual issue here, Josh. The man is saying in his official capacity as a deputy spokesperson for the government that former President George Weah told a lie.
Nothing.
And he's warning the former president to not do it again. I mean,
and what will he do if the president does it again? The former president does it, what will he do? You see, Nelson, these are the empty talks that can make you, that can cloud our people's mind, and they don't look past it. What would that common guy do to President Weah if President Weah repeats that again? He can't do anything whatsoever. He got no stake. He's just saying rubbish talk because people got to listen to him, because he got some position. President Baga felt sorry for him and say, come and be deputy minister, just like Fagon was. So Nelson, these people will talk empty talk and will fool our people's mind. Oh, the man saying he won the president. So there's a look, that type of nonsense, Nelson. It doesn't even come to our mind. I don't even argue with people like that, because he's making empty threats that will make no sense, nothing whatsoever. It will not change anything. He's making all the threats. Nelson, let's go past this guy. We are trying to patronize him by talking about him. Donald Santos is nobody. Donald Santos is just there when he says say this,
is a deputy minister of information for press and public affairs. He's somebody. Listen, Josh. When Daniel Santos speaks, forget about how long you've known Daniel Santos for. Forget about Daniel Santos may be your friend. He may be that guy, maybe you knock bottle together, you chill together. But when he speaks at this point, in his official capacity, it's the government of Liberia speaking. So we are not discussing this thing as Daniel Santos speaking. As a Daniel Santos, for example, that we used to host on radio. After the show, we discuss, we lecture behind the scene. No. This is the government of Liberia speaking.
Okay, look, Nelson, let me just put it this way.
The government of Liberia responding to what former President George Weah said about the government of Liberia.
Nelson, this coming soon, President Weah will go to the church again and will make similar remarks. Let the government go there and be about. Then we know that it's serious. But Nelson, these people are not making any sense. Nelson, President Weah is warning them not to repeat history so that we don't go to the past, so we can move forward as a country. And he's talking about being online. This government is in the habit of trying to derail our democracy, Nelson. Nelson,
I want to hold you there.
To dismiss your own official for speaking out against ills in the government.
Which
it's derailing the democracy. That means the whistleblower act does not work for any Liberian again. Don't work for even public officials. That means you cannot blow whistle.
I was about to go to Chris, but I want to take this thing one step at a time. Which are the officials the government dismissed for speaking out the truth?
Nelson, once you are suspended indefinitely, that's all dismissal. Nelson, this government had never.
I just need to state the name of the individual. Then let's take the conversation.
Yomplu. I think Yomplu is called
Matthew Yomplu, right?
Matthew. Yes, sorry, so Matthew Yomplu.
Matthew Yomplu did.
Yeah.
Had it been under the CDC administration, where you brought your Ito and Ebomath, then one of your information means okay, Eugene Fagon, for example, comes out and say that Ito and Ebomath thing is not correct, and no Liberian will give attention to it. Do you think Eugene Fagon would have stayed in that position? What led to the Eugene Fagon saga that got him out of government from the same Ministry of Information? Josh, was it not because Eugene Fagon spoke against the whole COVID-19 situation that got him out of government today?
Nelson, can I say something now?
Yes, sir.
And that's where we don't learn as Liberians, right? And that's where our issues can always, derive. These people say President Weah kept us like praise singers. He kept us mute. We could not say anything. We were sycophants. We were this, we were that, they were that. So they were coming to change the trajectory, right? They were coming to make sure that everybody would speak freely in the country without being pressure to do anything whatsoever. They will not be praised single. They will not be doing George Weah is a cruel man. He's a bad government leader. That's why everyone is quiet. No one can talk against him, blah, 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 blah. They come. Somebody say, okay, saying we came to be rescue government and we're here to say the truth to the Liberian people. Let me say it. They fire him because I can't say that they suspend him indefinitely. Now saying we know that President Bouaka does not have the track record of suspending somebody indefinitely and bringing them back in government. The first boy he suspended indefinitely, he put them out finally. So this boy knew that he was going to be dismissed. So if you have come, say you come to change things, even though you get love in your face, but you don't make it. You bring all that thing you can. You say, I will make sure that people will be able to speak freely. Then the first man that will speak freely, you put it in the bag. Nelson, that's not change. That's not rescue. This is rubbish. We are
but George, you guys are the same people who are biting our same ideas. You guys are the same people.
You're not having an interaction. If we have your interaction,
I'm saying what the government did was right, George. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just saying you guys for the same people are here in Georgia for the same thing.
Thank you,
so,
Mama.
It's just complicated for you guys,
Let's get Chris to come in with this, take on this issue. The government's response.
Thank you. Thank you to Mova and George for the view. But a few things that I want to look at in the first place. One of the issues, those things that happened in the past, it was wrong yesterday while like when people voted President when the city government out. Let's take that as status for now. The reason they put the city out and Georgia out because they said the rule of law was evil, corruption, all these things are together, they get it out. On the rescue agenda, the federal rule of law is what the federal they have. And again, they are breaking those rules that we had. For example, Dallas today talking, I listened to him when he responded. When he knows that yesterday you want to kill a person, that's put against the CDC. All those wrong things are happening. I don't think it was wrong for President Yah to remind the Liberian people. Nobody listening has said it sure before.
Chris, let's do this. You have the Bluetooth on. Can you speak into the gadget you're listening to because the audio coming through your?
I call the Bluetooth off. There's in the same way that
just put the Bluetooth off. Just disconnect the Bluetooth because the audio. Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm clear now.
Very good.
Yeah,
you're very good.
Okay. So. But I don't think the former president was wrong to remind the Liberian people. Let's see, nobody can tell at the stage we are right now that the issue that going, now at the Capitol building, that the executive is not behind it. They have him behind it.
Listen. That could be your view. That could be your own analysis of the issue. But that's something that will have to be proven if maybe we were to go any further with that. But again, that could be your own analysis on the issue. But again, maybe I may want to ask you the question as to why do you think so? Because there's a similar comment that the former president is making. Now you're coming back to re-emphasize that point. You think that the response from the government toward the former president is not in place. The former president spoke his truth. He spoke what the reality is. Why do you think this thing is the reality, Chris? Chris,
because, as I said, right, Donald Trump defended his salary. He defended his salary, so he will talk. He will talk. He will respond. But the
Grace, you got love, but I don't think you can make it tonight. So let me pull you out. Just restart your computer or whatever you're using, then you can try to log in again. Let me pull you out, then you can try to get back in studio. But this is serious, and the government has responded, and this is exactly where we are. I want us to end the conversation on this decision coming from the Liberian Senate, not to do business, not actually business, but not to send legislative instruments at the House of Representatives until they fight, this issue they have in there can be resolved. The Liberian Senate, the House of Elders, is coming in with this decision. But even before now, they've sent legislative instruments there at that very House of Representatives at the majority block. They bill for the port, decentralization of the port and coming up with a regulatory authority. It was sent at the at the lower house. All right, all of those instruments went there. But why is the Senate making a U-turn at this time? Why this shift? Why this shift at this particular time with respect to how the Senate intends to work with the lower house? No legislative instrument. What does this mean for the country? If the Senate is in session, but they're not sending legislative instruments to the lower house, are we going to see the government being, everything just stuck in one place? Because they are sending instruments from the Liberian Senate that will need concurrence from the House of Representatives. What happens in that case?
You want me to start?
Yeah, let's hear you.
But
and then once
we said it. We're gonna get the last time we're on the show. Yeah, the last time we're on the show, we always come from. When we say things, people look at it differently. But I think that the House of Senate, right, until the House of Representatives can settle that dispute, I don't think anybody should do business with a majority, because you'll be talking about you'll be against the Constitution. But there's the thing people don't understand. Our stand always remain. Yeah, they'll be against the Constitution.
Are doing business
with
the lower house.
Of course.
But why do you think so? When we've had officials from the executive appearing there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It is wrong. It is wrong. No need for someone from the executive to be going over there, because what all they're doing is not in the confines of the Constitution. It's not in the confines of the law. You say you want to take somebody, everybody agrees, say yes, you're doing it the right way. So now the Senate realized that yes, people got to go by the Constitution. They people got to go by the law. Although they want that man, we agree, or whosoever agree, yes. But let them go by the law. So for even the executive be doing business with them, nothing. It is wrong. People will say, why they gotta send? They want to send the budget. People are holding the budget because look. The president has executive power. The president has executive power. He can look at that budget and sign it into law without the confirmation of any Senate, or I mean the representative. He will do it.
Which executive power are you talking about, Mova?
My man, the executive power. That only in that bro. You talking about Constitution here? Listen, we talking about but the president got executive power. We talking about Constitution here. The House of Representatives bringing the Constitution. That's what I want. But when we talk about the president doing executive power to sign it, they say, oh, the president violate the Constitution. Then where we are?
Mobile, the budget is a very sensitive, instrument. The budget is what determines.
Now, see, then the president, if the president can use the executive power, the president keep the budget until the people face that disputes. Because at the end of the day, if you taking one side and the other side is not, look at now they're talking about taking all the cars, all the benefit from the speaker. Why are you moving constitutionally? It is wrong. We should come here and say
the Senate has been giving up to Thursday to turn over all amenities and everything in his possession.
Which of course are not nothing. The speaker will not turn anything over until the right thing be done. And what is the right thing?
But I want to hold you there. But Moba, what I'm getting from you tonight is that you think that Speaker, you think that the Senate is in the right? The
Yes,
Senate is in the right.
100%. Yeah, the Senate until Nelson.
Hold all legislative instruments until the House of let's say the House of Representatives can settle that issue.
Yes, we are that the House of Senate should be saying nothing.
What do you think is going to happen to the country in the next maybe 1 month, 2 months if this issue is not resolved?
The whole country going to be a hostage because a lot of things going to come in. People going to be passing concession bills and other things to improve the Liberian people life. But it's not because certain group of people holding the country hostage. And we're talking about, and when we're talking about constitutional matter, and people say they let the president to go and do it executive all about passing the budget, he needs to send it to. Then the people come in and cry and say, no, it's not in the constitution. The thing are sensitive paper. Everybody got a VA. People got to do their own. We agree. But let it go by the referral channel. So why the Senate, why the House of Representatives can go by the referral channel to take for now to go out as a speaker? That's all we want.
I want to hold you there. Let me hold you there a bit, George. Let's hear a take on this issue, then we take Chris.
Thank you, Nelson. Look, Nelson, you know, Nelson, I always like to put this thing bare on the ground. That's why I don't speak big English, right? Because I want our people to understand what I'm trying to say. Nelson, when they say President Boakai had 42 years of governance, experience, that was Vlad.
So but why all your analysis always starting with President Boakai?
Yes, Nelson, I'm coming there. Yes, I'm coming there, Nelson. If President Boakai,
the election thing I was very serious. No, since after November 17, we can't forget the name. Every time George hears the name Boakai. Even if George dreaming good dream, he will jump out from a dream and say the election was a fraud, the lie. George, what's happening with this November 17th?
Nelson, I was in Montreal for the election. I was there, and what happened. But Nelson, I'm not bitter about election, Nelson. I did not get any pegs from. I didn't get any special treatment from the CDC government. I support CDC because I support idea. I don't support things. I support idea. I support that a man like Nelson Collet, you know what I mean, can be somebody in Liberia, not having Jackson name or not having maybe Giddings name or not having any Congo name, you know what I mean? When he can be somebody in his own country, that he can be respected as a person, Nelson. Before somebody like George Manise widow, from Lofa, nobody wants to see in some kind of ministry said they needed and wanted them were different. But Nelson, I support the idea that President Weah had come and to change the trajectory of Liberia. That means anybody can be anybody. You getting me? For me, it's a story that will tell
even before we are, there was door in the mansion. Even before we are, there was door.
Because the American people did not want the person that was there, they kill him and they put door there.
That aspect of discussion, a disclaimer that what George just said is his view and his view only. It doesn't represent the view of Spoon Network or the Late Night Show. Thank you very much, George.
Thank you, Nelson. So let me go on with this topic, Nelson. The reason I said this and the reason I started with President Boakai is, Nelson, this is common sense, Nelson. The House of Elders are acting the way the president should have acted. You know that if the president was not signing with the majority bloc, but they signing the whole conflict over, if you're not sending instrument to them, they will feel weak. You see it? They'll feel weak. They say, but then what we're doing the thing here for? They ain't sending instrument now, they so more settle it. So let's come together and settle the thing here. But this time the thing are going to be settled. But President Boakai continues to support the Banjere bloc. That's why the conflict has escalated to where it is. So that's just common sense, Nelson. And the House of Elders, I think we thank God. I think it's God's own intervention, not President Boakai. President Boakai, he doesn't even have the clue how to solve the problem, because he is trying to instigate the whole thing. So the problem is that, Nelson, if the president had that particular mindset to rule a peaceful Liberia, to make a country that will work in harmony, with what we want as a people, Nelson, you have stopped all legislative instruments from going there and just make an announcement and say, look, for now, until the lower house comes together, we're not able to submit any documentation. And guess what? They can still use the budget small, you know, 1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, right? They can still use the budget. And we're coming to the end of the year, right? But this president, without that knowledge or with intentionally trying to instigate the whole violence and remove all the speaker, he continues to support the majority bloc. And that's why I brought us here. So I just want to publicly thank the House of Senate that they have come together and they are doing what the president should have done by making our country come together. So President Boakai, you have let us down again. This proves that your 42 years of government experience is just flat. And we are people are regretful. And those who are supporting him like Molbade, they are all regretful for the rubbish they put in. Thank you, Nelson.
Did you stay, my brother George? Les mains, no comment on les choses.
George, what do you make of the Senate decision? That's why Baka is that in charge. The market people in the market say they're flooding, taking over. Oh, that calamity because Baka is in charge. So when you bring
when you get out again, it'll be raining. Even come on, rain. Baka can stop it. Come on, rain, my man. You make it stop it.
You ask Vasco, you ask a brother Vasco, even worse. Vasco, the fire disaster. What can we do Vasco? Calamity. Baka is in the guys. Come on, man. You know,
Vasco,
let's hear you because we want to go to the lines and take few calls. Crazy.
Okay. Thank you, Messi, and thank you to George and our brother Mobile. Yeah, Messi, I think it's related. For me, I don't think it's a thing that we should honor. But I'm trying to say this, Messi. Those guys coming in because the Supreme Court have put hold to this process so that they appear before the full bench. So that answer is related. That's a week ago.
Did the Supreme Court really succeed in putting a stay order on what the majority bloc is doing? Did they really succeed in doing that? The majority bloc had a session today. They had a session and came back and they had a session. Now they're talking about their legal representative going to the court tomorrow. Did the Supreme Court succeed in the stay order?
That shows that those guys are there respecting the higher court of the land. Because they see their own record sending a verified document to the declare. And he took that document directly to the majority bloc. There are no issue. They could respond towards it. They coming out today as a shame. Because when they do that, they'll be undermining the rules of law. Because some people have come up today, or a few days ago, putting part to every process. So the Senate decision today is related to me. Because I've been one of those who instigated the process. Because when they send those documents of ratification, when the data told you to the majority bloc, they could uphold the data order. But if you refuse to do that, the next thing I have to do with the executive, as I was saying, nothing. Let me say this. If the executive was not supporting this process, minister and director could have appeared before the majority bloc. The executive because anybody appears there, he shows things out there that the executive is behind. So what the president could have done, at that time to post to all the ministers, directors, not appear before the unconstitutional bloc. It's unconstitutional. You ask the question that if the process continue in the next few weeks or month to come, why do you expect nothing? If the Supreme Court come out with any decision for those guys to return back and they refuse or refuses, nothing. I can guarantee you the Liberian people will move on that building.
You know,
they are caused some of the times, right?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so
the Liberian people are regrouping.
You know, we want to go to the phone lines and take just a few calls. because we are out of time. We'll take just 5 calls
Mama, my
tonight.
brother Patrick.
055-101075 0 So we'll take 5 calls and then we'll be out. We're seriously out of time. We have to go. Let's take just 5 calls and be out. 055-101075. The WhatsApp number is on the screen there. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, let's hear your name and where you call from and your input.
Yeah, good morning. Nancy, thank you for the show. Thank you for you to continue to carry on the program. But I have concern, especially concerning my brother, Josh, on the show there. These are the same things they used to talk with their time. Oh, everything. When they see people behind the horse, they will say like Jawia. When they see ugly thing, they will say President Weah. You come by on the same thing that other people used to do during your time. Everything. Why you see the lawmaker doing their own thing and they are like honorable men in there. They don't want it. Even though I'm not supporting what they are doing to say that powering the rifle thing because they accept me their own law.
Yeah, just in
You
conclusion,
get on the
sir,
show. Yeah, everything you say President, I got everything President. But anyway, as you two are saying, the God in 2023 is actually safe behind it. So anything you will say President or President Baga. But thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
He will change.
Yeah, he will change. Josh will change. This is very interesting. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, Nancy, how you doing?
Yes, sir. It's good to have you, Mr. Daniel. Let's hear you.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. I really don't know what, I'm not talking about your panelists. I really don't know what we, the Liberians, want. If President Buakai have called these guys and they say no, they will say President Buakai interfere in legislative issues. They are not seeing the big picture ahead of them, or we are not seeing the big picture. Some of the big picture should be George we are seeing in church. It brings divisions, it brings war into a country. As a former president, sit down to your sit down place. If your people are making confusion, call your legislative body from your side and tell them, say, hey, God, let's stick together. But what we Liberians are saying is for the president, because he owned it, because he gave the opportunity for people to talk, we Liberians can build our own dictator. They want for President Buakai to be a dictator. No.
Thank you.
Because of his 40 years, because of his 40 years experience in government, he lay by looking at what happened to the capital. But let me say this, Nancy. Let me say this. Tomorrow, ruling, it will be against Funati Kufa. A valley of people, a group of men come together and say, we don't have confidence in you again, leave. It's just like your wife home or your girlfriend. If your girlfriend says, don't touch me, don't touch her.
Thank you.
If she said, don't do this, don't do this. So it's over for Funati Kufa. Tomorrow it will be over.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have 3 more calls to take. That was the second caller. Hello, your name and where you call from? Yeah, go ahead quickly.
My name, I call from Kingsway, Juba.
Go ahead.
The previous caller just said, when it happened in the past region, what the Liberian people were saying, and everything negative was going to Georgia. So the same thing will go as well to President Buakai. President Buakai is not doing nothing in the country. Whether they like it or not, it's not about tribalism. It's about Liberia. Not because he gives him a on the radio. Can't talk for anything yet.
No, let's respect everybody's view now. You know, you can say, you can talk about, you know, that kind of.
Remember the brigade.
Good evening, Lord Nelson. How you doing?
Yes, sir. We're okay. Let's hear you.
I tell God, thank you for my call to be accepted on top today. Because many years I've been trying to get it. But however, you see, Liberian people will always remain suffering because of the mentality of our officials. They are not in the favor of the country, but
They are in the favor of their money that they're going to catch. Exactly. I think since 2017, I've been listening to Spoon Talk, but today my call has been accepted. So, what I would say exactly, I will appeal to the government and also our representatives. They get power over the president. They're supposed to be saying and making decisions for the country, but not for their money to be protecting their assets.
Thank you.
We put them there to do something for us, not for their assets.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take the fourth caller, and then we'll take the last person. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, you are live. Your name and where you call from?
Hello, Nancy. I just want to say thank you tonight. I think what they are doing to the speaker, even though some of us we supported the Unity Party, I think they should give him a due process.
Okay.
If he is found guilty, let them remove him. But what can really get to me, I don't even like to hear citizens talking. I think we need to have a new opposition party that will criticize things in this country. Because they are not even serious. The hell we just came from in, all the we did in the country, they even have the guts to come out and say, Papa, they are not even serious. We need new opposition to criticize the government, not CDC, because you almost like ticket out there, you black.
You think CDC is not the right messenger, right? Okay.
What?
You think CDC is not the right messenger?
No. They don't have any voice in this country again to criticize something.
Thank you. I want to hold you there and bring our final caller in. Go ahead, sir. You're live on the WhatsApp line.
Conversation from Charlotte, North Carolina, USA.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nelson, I sent you a video on your WhatsApp. Please play it for the Liberian people. Listen to Mr. Akara Gray at the time when he removed Speaker Eddie Styler. He read the rule very clear. And that rule one Senator go for tomorrow. Watch up. Just watch the video I sent you. He was clear. He the one side on Spoon the other day. Defending Senator Kofa. What moral Akara Gray again in the country? You are noted for removing your speaker. Then your colleagues, your colleagues during those days, they doing the same. Then you try and you get moral.
Thank
you. Look at that video. Play for the Liberian people. Let listen to it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate you, sir.
We'll play it tomorrow.
We are out of time now, and we have to go. I want to appreciate everyone for participating tonight. All of you called in. This video is a very interesting one. I remembered I remember this video very well. I watched it some time ago. This is what politics is like. This will always happen, But let's do our closing. But let me just share a string of this, since he already mentioned that, for the benefit of our audience. Let me share Representative Moses Akaros Gray on this one. Ellis Tyler, Okay, so let's play this one.
Our distinguished presiding officer, co-presiding fellow colleague, with the adoption of a resolution seeking the removal of Speaker J. Ellis Tyler and in conformity with Article 49 of the Liberian Constitution that calls for removal on the basis of tutel, and Rule 9.1 that also calls for removal of the Speaker on the basis of tutel, on this historic day of September 27, AD 2016. I move, if I can obtain a second, that the resolution having been adopted be executed on the basis of the removal of the Speaker of the Republic of Liberia, J. Ellis Tyler, if I can obtain a second.
So there you have it. Representative Moses Akaros Gray, so many years ago. history has a way of reminding us. But let's do our closing now, starting with you, Chris, and then George next, and then Mobile will take us home. Just 1 minute.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you for that video. There was certain things said in that video that the court put into consideration. Article 49 to 10. When Elisa removed some of in the student community with that building, there are no lawmaker and have to take that challenge. Today, the 50 lawmakers are talking about that is a cyber solution, almost 7 or 5 left. So that means not to take. So in that solution, when Asa got reading it, he said Article 49 that says to take. It was mentioned. And the day after removed, there are no longer challenge have to take. Again, next thing. Yesterday, Elisa could go to court when they get redress of a case. There's a constitutional matter. We cannot pretend. We cannot pretend what the court will say tomorrow. But I believe, and I want to encourage the both fanatic black and the majority.
Thank you.
Any decision tomorrow the court come up with, that both parties respect the higher court of the land. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hold you there quickly, Josh. Let's hear your 1 minute closing.
Thank you, Nelson. And look, I want to thank my colleagues on here. It's all respect. It's all about Liberia. And we always want to speak truth. And I always come here to speak my truth because I live here with my conscience clean, and clear. And I want to be held to my word. I could be wrong. I don't have all the knowledge. I'm not infallible. But I will state my mind. Even if I'm wrong, I will state my mind. I will not go state somebody else's mind or what somebody believes or somebody told me. I will do my investigation. That's what education is all about, to make sure that you can decipher, you know what I mean? You can discern, you can look at information, weigh the pros and cons and find out what it is that to you makes sense. And to me, what the majority bloc is doing makes no sense. They are going against their own rules. They are going against the Constitution because the Constitution says to tear, and the speaker must excuse himself. And guess what? Everything that Akaros Grace said is exactly about the law. So I don't know what somebody is trying to make issue out of that. The man talked about the law taking its place, and Alice, he tangled into corruption. You know what I mean? And the house didn't want to see that over them, right? So they wanted to do something about it. So Nelson, look, it was a good discussion. Let's continue to to be civil in our discussion. It's better you call me any name. I don't really mind. But what I will say is that let Liberia be rescued.
George,
if it's not being rescued, let Boakai go to Freetown and go to a classroom and sit down there and leave our Liberia alone, because Liberia is the only thing we have. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Liberia.
George, I don't know why you be responding to the people in the comment section for, my man.
No, man.
I don't know, bro. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I gotta make it famous, man. These people are suffering from,
Let me do my closing. People do that thing. The whole show, that by itself. No need to talk to that people, man.
Thank you for your closing, Mobile. We appreciate you. It's been a great show. Thank you.
But now let me do my closing. Look, as Carl Green and our people that not the people. Look, I said it before, and I will always say it. Certain people in Liberia, right? They get no right to talk in politics. They just sit down, and focus on what they are doing and forget about politics totally. Because the same thing they did in the past, and other people do that, then they come to criticize the same thing. So it don't make no sense. I don't listen to them. I only listen to people who defend before, and now and today they still defending the truth. That's the type of people I'm listening to. But let me go to I'm leaving that whole something about Ascara Grave, blah blah blah. They're going straight to what I saw on social media today. They're appealing to the justice minister or the police director, Gregor Coman. Let him try and assign a lot of people, a lot of things going on. Today I saw some video, very disturbing. Woman, she explained her story, how she was in the keke, the men chop her and show her, the almost kill her and stuff, all that thing. So The security need to be tight. These things happening every part of Liberia, and I think the government, like the last time I said it, the government need to add the budget up for security at least, so Liberian can be safe. Because a lot of things going on now, and if you find out that some of those areas that people don't even know about what's going on that we don't know, they don't even on social media. So to tell you, and what come on social media, that's the one we talk about, that's the one we see, or that's the one we hear about. But the one that come on social media, we don't even know. So to tell you what's going on in this behind the scene is dangerous. The government need to prioritize security. We always saying it here, 24/6, because the citizen life is in danger if you get other people out there hunting them, kidnapping them, putting them in car, chopping them out, and then they're going free and they're still walking, freedom in society. And there's no investigation going on. Nobody know their whereabouts, but in the society, carrying on that type of clandestine act. I think the Gregory Como and boys or men, they need to work.
Yeah, boys and men down there.
Men. The entire justice system and the police force, they need to come out to or join security, because it's getting rampant every day. We're getting calls, we're getting text messages. People keep telling us, and I think the government need to stand strong, on those type of aspect and make sure the citizens safe on a daily basis. Thank you, Nelson.
Thanks a lot, Moba. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Thank you, Josh, and thanks to you, our audience, for joining us tonight. We look forward to a great show tomorrow. Until then, I'm Nelson Colette. Have a good night. This is how we end up this edition of the Late Night Show. Bye-bye for now.